Today we're going to give you a tour of some of the most expensive real estate in the Seattle area. We're going to do it by boat since it's on an island and it's got 15 miles of shoreline. This island sits right between Seattle and Bellevue, so you're minutes away from both. So where are we? We're on Mercer Island, and yes, we're going to see some $50 million homes in this video, but we're also going to cover how much it costs to buy waterfront on the island. We're going to look at the pros and cons of the waterfront lifestyle, and we're going to cover some things you might not expect about living on the water here on Mercer Island. Hey, I'm Matt Goyer, Seattle and Bellevue area real estate agent. I've been living on the water for over 10 years now, and I love helping people realize their waterfront dreams. So let's dig in. Mercer Island sits right in the middle of Lake Washington. It's connected to both Seattle and Bellevue by I-90, and soon it's going to be connected by light rail as early as 2026. It's known for its stunning waterfront estates we're going to check out today, top-rated schools, and a strong sense of community. You're going to find a mix of luxury homes, mid-century moderns, and new construction on the island. Most are going to have sweeping lake and mountain views, or they're going to be tucked into the forest. This island offers 475 acres of parks, 50 miles of trails and beaches, plus a charming town center with lots of shops and restaurants. It's a rare blend of natural beauty and convenience, minutes to all of the area's major cities, but with a quieter suburban feel. We're getting started on the east side of Mercer Island, which offers some of the most affordable waterfront on Mercer Island. Prices range from the mid 400s up to about $15 million. The great thing about being on the east side is you're going to get those sunrises. If you're close on the north end, you got easy access to I-90 and soon to light rail. And then the other thing, if you're a big boater, you got the gas station just over there in Newport Shores, which is super convenient. It's the only gas station here on the south end of Lake Washington. Downsides are going to be, well, you're not going to see the sunset, but that could be a pro because the sun gets so hot in the afternoon these days. The east side offers you a nice respite for that afternoon sun. We're coming up on our first home of the tour. It's for sale. It's listed for $10 million. It is the most affordable option right now for sale on the east side. And it's 6,100 square feet, 5 beds. And it's nice because this home is built really close to the water. You wouldn't be able to build a home that close anymore. So that's a really nice feature. Looks like it's got a nice dock. You got the covered boat lift. You can't do covered boat lifts anymore. You can just have a boat lift, but no covers. So that's grandfathered in. That's nice. And it looks like it's got some big pilings there. So if you want to tie up a big boat, in addition to some small boats, you got some options and some dock space for that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so just a couple doors down from that $10 million home, we've got the most expensive home for sale here on the east side of Mercer Island. So this one's listed for $13 million. It is smaller. It's 4,500 square feet. It's 4 beds. It's on like 80 something feet of shoreline, which is a nice amount, but that last home was on 154 feet of shoreline. So this one was designed by a famous architect, Ralph Anderson. So maybe that explains the price tag. It's also been totally remodeled, so it's got a very modern look on the inside. And like the last one, it's got a covered boat lift. You know, looks like it's got a nice kind of rocky beach there. So now we're coming up on the Mercer Wood Shore Club. This is one of the nice benefits of living here. You're super close to it. And certainly if you're not living on the water, it can give you some of that waterfront lifestyle without the waterfront real estate price tag. So what is the Mercer Wood Shore Club? Well, it was founded in 1953. It's the oldest club on the island, but it offers the most modern facilities. It's got a 6,000 square foot space. It's got a modern lounge, cardio studio, weight room, hot tub, all that stuff. You also got 500 feet of waterfront here, 25-meter pool, you got a diving board, and you got some outdoor tennis courts. You got a sandy beach and some boat slips. What's the downside? Well, you got a big initiation fee, monster wait list. It's hard to get in. So we're around mid-island right now. I just want to give you an example of some more affordable real estate options on the east side here. So this lighter colored contemporary home with yellow doors, something like that. So this sold back in July for $4.8 million, and it's 5 beds, 3,700 square feet. I toured it when it was last on the market, not this time, but the time before, back in like 2021 or something, 2022, around that time frame. But contemporary home, kind of needs some remodeling, but you know, a good example of the lower part of the price range here on the east side. So we're looking for the most expensive home to have sold here on the east side of Mercer Island, and we're really confused because there used to be a really big house here. So there used to be a 15,000 square foot house here. It sold for $14.5 million last year in April. And you can see, we'll put some of the photos of the old house up, but what it looks like they did was they cut that old house in half. They kept the north side of it And then they built an entirely new but modern house on the south side of this property. This property was, when they bought it, it was 275 feet of waterfront, which is a ton of waterfront. To see what they're doing here, but pretty crazy that you would basically cut a house in half and just keep part of it and then build an entirely new house. But I guess if you can afford a $14 million house, you can afford to tear most of it down and build a new one. We just had to stop and check out this cool modern contemporary home that's getting built here. Looks like they bought this land back in 2021 for $6.2 million. It is a ton of waterfront, 173 feet. Looks like it's got a nice shore, big dock. This will probably be the most expensive house on this stretch of shoreline when it's built. Yeah, so why are people willing to spend so much money to live on the water? Well, there's a few reasons. One of them would be the views. You get amazing views here on Mercer Island. Depending on where you are, you're gonna get views of Rainier. You get to watch the sunrise. If you're on the east side, you get to watch the sunset. If you're on the west side, and if you're in the north end, you got great views of Seattle, Bellevue, and everything in between. Another big reason people love living on the water is the private water access. Most of these homes have docks, so you can tie up a boat, you can hop in the morning, go for a water ski before work. If you're out here at 7 a.m., there are tons of boats on the water trying to squeeze in a session before work. And then also with your own dock, you can swim, you can paddleboard, you can kayak, you can do so much fun stuff right from your house. And the season here, it's about from May to the end of September these days. In the middle of July or August, right now the water's probably like 74 degrees, so still a good cool off, but it's not too bad. Okay, another reason is privacy on Mercer Island. Most of these homes on the waterfront are down these like winding lanes. These homes probably have gates on them. They're super private from the street. But yes, we can boat by and check out the homes during the summer and see what they're like, but you know, we're still pretty far away from their houses. Another big reason is the nature. There's just so much going down at the shoreline. You got tons of ducks and eagles and osprey and beavers, other things, certainly lots of fish in the lake. Lots of people go fishing here, but just a great place to enjoy both the convenience of being close to downtown, but also kind of feels like you're on vacation most of the time. And then another reason is just the entertaining factor. A lot of these homes have monster yards, they've got big docks, and so in the summer, popular place to host parties and all that. Another reason people like owning waterfront is the limited supply. There's really no vacant lots left on the lake. There's a couple, but not that many. And so there's very few new homes being built. Waterfront tends to retain its value over time. But yeah, there's a limited audience of people who can afford these homes. Sometimes they take longer to sell depending on the price point. Okay, we're now on the south end of Mercer Island. We're gonna see a super unique home here in just a second, but let's talk about the pros of living on the south end. Well, you've got more sun. Depending where you are exactly on the southern tip here, you might get sun all day. It's really nice. You also got views of Mount Rainier, but we can't see it today. The downside to the south end is that you're on the south end, so you have a long drive from I-90 to get down here. Some people love that. We helped someone buy a Ralph Anderson home on the south end years ago. And I ran into him recently, and he said the drive doesn't bother him. He really enjoys it. But for me personally, I love Mercer Island, but the south end would be just a little bit too far south for me. So we're gonna look at the most affordable home for sale here on the south end in the last 5 years. It is also the most unique because it is a 1908 ferry boat that at some point someone hauled up on land and turned into a house. It sold back in, what was it? It sold back in 2021, I wanna say, and it sold for $1.8 million, which sounds like a lot and doesn't sound like a lot. It's on 60 feet of waterfront, so actually to get that kind of waterfront here on Mercer Island at that price does sound like a good deal, but the house is only 1,300 square feet. And then right beside the ferry boat house, we've got an expensive home for sale. So that home right there is listed right now for $11.5 million. It's 4,600 square feet. So it sits on a half acre. It's got 168 feet of shoreline. It's got a boat lift. Sort of a nice, modern, contemporary home. So my kids would find that shoreline too rocky for them. Another benefit to living on the south end, whether you live on the waterfront or not, is easy access to the Mercer Island Beach Club. Fun year-round, certainly best in the summer. As you see, they've got a beach swimming area here, slide off the dock, tons of boat slips, they got tennis courts, they got a huge outdoor pool, and I don't know how easy or hard it is to get into, but probably hard. Okay, so the most expensive sale here on the south end is this Italian looking home. It was pretty recently for $13 million. Not quite my style, but it's 7,800 square feet. So pretty big. It's got 100 feet of waterfront, big dock. Pretend you're on Lake Como. Then the neighbor here, certainly big construction project next door. Another benefit of waterfront real estate is you can pull your plane right up on your dock. So here's a house that has a boat lift for the plane. Makes it easy to get to the San Juans. It's their likely destination from here. They're still in the south end, and here's this house that's for sale. It's for $13.5 million, 5,100 square feet. It's got a big QR code on it. Well, this house is only 20 feet from the water, so you can't build that close anymore. It's got 100 feet of shoreline. It's got a big boat lift to lift that big heavy boat. Got a place to pull up your catamaran. You got both some gentle shoreline and some bulkhead. Lots of great southerly exposure. Okay, so here's the most affordable option for sale now in the south end. It's listed for $6 million. They got a bunch of signs here saying 100 feet of waterfront, and the house is only 10 feet from the shoreline. Definitely cannot build that close anymore. And then it's got this big dock. I think it says 65-foot boat. But anyhow, when you look on Redfin, there's no photos of the inside. So assume you've got a lot of work ahead of you if you're looking to buy this one. But just down the way here, there's one just a little bit more expensive. Okay, so we just looked at that $6 million home for sale. It's super close to the water, but it's a bit of a big remodel project. If you're looking for something in that same price range, but move-in ready, we've got this home right here. It's listed for $6.5 million, and it was worked on by Olson Kundig. So it's got a nice updated interior on the inside. I'd say the downside would be, you got this slope. You're kind of high up on the slope, so you got a bit of a walk to get to the water, but that also means you're gonna have better views. So what are some of the downsides of living on the water? Well, the price. The price is the number one. It's very expensive to live on the water. Generally on Mercer Island, I think for all the different regions we're looking at today, the minimum price these days is kind of around $5 million. Though, insider tip, if you're looking for waterfront, but you don't want to buy true waterfront, Mercer Island has a lot of what's called shared waterfront, where you buy a house and maybe with 2 to whatever it is, 6 other neighbors, you're sharing a little slice of waterfront and a dock. So that's a much more affordable way to enjoy the waterfront lifestyle without the big price tag of a lot of these homes. And then some of the other downsides would be, well, obviously the property taxes. Waterfront people pay the highest property tax. Another downside would be the strict shoreline development code. Washington State has a really stringent shoreline development code, so it's super hard to work on the water or close to it. These docks we're all seeing, it's really hard to maintain. It's not hard to maintain them, but it's really expensive to maintain them. If you need to do any repairs, you have to get a permit. Super complicated process. And to repair or rebuild your dock, you're kind of looking from $100,000 to $250,000 pretty easily. And then all these boat lifts we see, those are expensive too. And some other downsides would be just sort of the seasonal nature of waterfront. It's really nice during the summer, and you pay a big premium for that, but we do have a long winter season here. I feel though like summer's getting longer, so you're getting more value out of the lake these days than you used to, thanks to global warming, unfortunately. Another downside is just going to be, as we talked about earlier, one of the pros is privacy, but one of the downsides is, you're not getting a lot of privacy from the water side. And then you're also getting a lot of seasonal noise in the summer. If your neighbor has a float plane, you're going to hear them taking off. There's lots of people boating kind of all hours of the day. Some people boating by with really loud stereos and whatnot, but I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. We're making a pit stop here because this little cove here seems to have a couple really big inflatable water structures. Our kids would love these. I hope they never see them. 1, they're expensive. 2, they're a lot of fun. 3, they are super heavy. There's so much vinyl involved that at the end of the season, I don't know how you manage 500 pounds of slippery, gooey vinyl. I guess these people have it figured out. I'm gonna have to stop and ask. So now we're on the west side of Mercer Island, and we're gonna see the craziest houses on the west side, maybe the north side too. Now we're gonna see someone's very famous house. They don't own it anymore, but they sold it for $1 gajillion. So the west side, real estate here kind of runs from $5 million up to, sky's the limit, as we're gonna see in a second. Definitely pushing in the $50, $60, $70 million category for some of these homes. The nice thing about living on the west side is gonna be you get the sunsets, but the downside is gonna be you get the afternoon sun, which can be really, really hot, and you have to have a ton of air conditioning, or maybe you're just in the water all afternoon swimming on those days. But let's go find this house. Okay, so we found it. This is Paul Allen's former estate. It sold for $67 million. It is a collection of 8 houses. It stretches from there all the way over there. So just a ton of shoreline. They've got houses back up on land too. Paul Allen, is one of the co-founders of Microsoft, made a ton of money, owned the Seattle Seahawks and a bunch of other things, responsible for developing South Lake Union. Just left a huge impact on Seattle. And his house here is absolutely crazy. We don't know who bought it. I didn't find out, couldn't find anything online or heard any rumors about the owner, but someone paid $67 million to buy this compound. And funny story about this, when Paul Allen owned it, he had a helicopter that he wanted to land here on his estate. Mercer Island would not allow him to do it, so he bought a boat with a helicopter landing pad on it and called it Dragonfly, that he would boat out, land his helicopter on, and then boat back to the dock. Okay, so on the west side, homes don't frequently come up for sale. It's probably the hardest part of the island to buy on, but here's one that's for sale right now. It's listed at $10 million. It's got 137 feet of waterfront. It's built in the 70s. It's got a diving board. The slide's got water running on it. So this house has a bit of a Northwest cabin vibe going on the inside. Might want to do some remodeling. You're gonna get some epic sunsets. You can see downtown Seattle over there. You're right across from Suburb Park and Andrews Bay, popular boating destination. Okay, before we get to a crazy house that rivals Paul Allen's estate, I just want to give you an example here of just how popular West Mercer Island real estate can get. So this very modest house here, it's like, what, 2,700 square feet. It hit the market for $6 million and they had 7 offers on it, and it went for nearly $8 million. And I saw this house, I toured it. Great house, great location, but also I felt it needed some remodeling. So definitely I wasn't alone in liking this house, because 7 offers is a lot at this price point. Okay, so we're coming up here on an estate that likely rivals Paul Allen's. So we've got 325 feet of waterfront here. These people bought this house over 10 years ago for $22 million and tore it down, and then built this very kind of low-key modern house here. I was trying to figure out how big it is. I think the house is like 12,000 square feet. And then I think they have a 12,000 square foot garage. And definitely found an article about their car collection. So this is owned by Tom and Sue Ellison. They're behind the Value Village conglomerate of companies. We featured another Value Village owner's home in our last video. I'll link that up below. It is equally crazy. This house is huge. It's got a great shoreline. They must have spent a lot of money building out this shoreline and making this home truly one of a kind. So beside the most amazing modern contemporary home here on Mercer Island, we've got this home, much more classic in nature. This one is 15,000 square feet and it's appraised at $30 million. So if you thought 15,000 square feet was big, this home here is 22,000 square feet. It's owned by Loretta Lee, a billionaire, according to what I was Googling. This home is appraised at $50 million, and I don't believe this is her primary residence. I've never seen anybody here. So if you're thinking about buying a waterfront home, I highly recommend working with a waterfront real estate agent like myself, someone who knows what makes a waterfront home truly unique. There's a lot of things here that are grandfathered in that you couldn't build today, and so they're really hard to price and hard to value. We can help you find off-market opportunities. Not all these homes sell on the market. And then we can also tour by boat, which would be a lot of fun. It brings us to the other end of the price spectrum. We're gonna buy a house here that I toured back in 2019, sold for $2.9 million. And I guess it took them a few years to get around to remodeling. But as you can see, they've totally torn this house apart and are about to pour a bunch of money into it. Curious to see how it turns out. Okay, you might be wondering why this one was so affordable. Other than it needed a lot of remodeling, well, it's super close to I-90. Downside to being close to I-90 is going to be the bridge noise. You can actually hear it pretty far down the island in both directions, but it depends where the wind's blowing and whatnot, but that'll definitely impact real estate values too. I'm now on the north side of Mercer Island. If I was going to live on Mercer Island and could afford the waterfront here, this is where I'd live. It's really nice because you got easy access to I-90. You're not being blasted by the sun all day, but you're still going to probably see a sunrise and sunset, both if you're lucky, depending on the site. And we're here in front of the most expensive home for sale right now on the north end. I think it's the most expensive on the island. And it's listed for $29 million. It was just built back in 2021. And it's a little under 10,000 square feet. Got some really nice landscaping. Someone's hard at work keeping the pool clean right now. And it's got a monster boat lift and views of downtown Seattle. We're now boating by the most expensive sale here on the north end of Mercer Island. It's sold for $28.5 million. It's got 210 feet of waterfront. It's nearly 10,000 square feet. It's got like a 145-foot dock. It is quite the house, and its neighbor is for sale. So if you want to be neighbors with that house, you can just buy this house. It's got a nice diving board. What's this one for sale for? So this one's for sale for $17 million. Gets you a 7,000 square foot house, a nice big dock, diving board. Can't see it, but it's got a pool. Gives you that, definitely that waterfront luxury estate vibe. We're now coming up on a home that was recently built. It's modern, contemporary, flat roof. If you watched these videos before, you know I love this style. This home was built by Peter Nordstrom of the Nordstrom family fame. It's close to like 7,500 square feet. Nice level lot. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. You can see both downtown Seattle and downtown Bellevue from the dock. Just a great site. Okay, we're coming up with a home notable for its monster retaining wall, but also just wanted to point out when you have big boats, you have big boat problems. So this house has a nice dock, big boat, but when I was digging into it, I found permit filings. They had to dredge the bottom of the lake here to create some more depth so these people could safely tie up their big yacht. So we're boating by Luther Burbank Park right now. It is this huge park on the north end of Mercer Island. My kids love it. They got a zip line, and even though the playground's a little out of date, but it's got this hydraulic, they call it elevator park. It's got this hydraulic thing you can stand on. It goes up and down. But if you're a boater, they have some docks here, so you could boat here. You boat to the park with your kids, have a picnic, kind of a thing. It's better to do it on a calm day though, or not busy boating day, because it can get pretty rough out here. There's not much protection on the dock, so bring your fenders. Okay, here's another home for sale here on the north end where prices range between $5 and $15+ million. This one's for sale for 700 square feet. It's got a big dock. It's got like 3 boat lifts. So definitely a great house if you're a boater. And it's got a sandy beach here. Kids would love that. Yeah, looks nearly new. Looks like a great house. All right, we made it around the island. As you've seen, Mercer Island offers that rare blend of luxury lifestyle, waterfront living, and low-key exclusivity. And it's got homes that range in price on the water here, anywhere from $5 million up to, the sky's the limit, $50 million, $60 million, $70 million estates. It's crazy over here. But waterfront living isn't for everyone. There's usually not that much inventory. Prices are really high, and sometimes the competition is fierce. Definitely helps to have an agent on your side who understands what's going on the lake. I've been living on the water for a long time, help lots of people realize their dreams of living on the water too. If you're thinking about buying on Mercer Island or other waterfront here in Seattle, feel free to reach out. You can call, text anytime. Happy to chat, happy to have a Zoom or meet in person or go for a boat tour. And if you like this video about Mercer Island waterfront, you are gonna like this other waterfront video we shot of some crazy houses on the east side. You can check it out up here.